Hi, my name is James Shepard, and today I want to talk about a really important development in the cash discounting world. Clover has dropped cash discounting, and so I want to talk about this today because I've had a suspicion for a while. I actually shared it on a recent podcast episode with Patty Murphy about kind of what was the attack going to be with cash discounting, because when you look at cash discounting, cash discounting is supposed to be two things. It's supposed to be a price increase and a cash discount. Well, are you going to say that businesses can't increase their prices? I mean, there's no way you're going to say that. Are you going to say that a business can't do a cash discount? Well, if you look at the Durbin Amendment, that's guaranteed. So how is Visa going to go after cash discounting? As many in the industry already know, Visa is not very happy about cash discounting. And so Clover over the weekend, I think it was Friday actually, I got a notice, some other reps did as well, that from Clover, a lot of you did, and there were some apps in the Clover market, the Clover app store, that allowed, it was like cash discounting apps. And I've been telling reps for months that have been calling me and saying, oh, I'm doing cash discounting on Clover. And I'm like, you shouldn't do that. And they're like, why not? And I'm like, well, because First Data does not believe in cash discounting. And so you're going to get all these people signed up, and when First Data realizes what's going on, they're going to cut it. And that's exactly what happened. But what I want to talk to you about today is why they cut it and what their rationale for it was, because it really confirmed my suspicion about the way that cash discounting is going to be attacked. And I want to talk a little bit about what to do about it as both a rep, an ISO, and even an ISV. So their logic for it was really simple. What they said was, we've removed apps from the App Store that are adding a service fee service fees only to credit card transactions, basically at the point of sale. And so they said that those apps are illegally surcharging, or they're not compliant, and they're surcharging the consumer in a way that's not in accordance with Visa and MasterCard rules. And so the idea here is, again, with cash discounting, you only have two things that you can attack. You have a price increase and you have cash discounting. Well, the idea of providing a cash discount is just, you can't attack that because there's a federal law. The Durbin Amendment is a federal law that says that the card brands, the banks, nobody can attack that. And so, it's just, that is what it is, right? Where they can put an attack is on the price increase. And so they can say, that's not really a price increase. You're not really doing a cash discount because you never really did a price increase. And I'm going to kind of be devil's advocate today and kind of agree with Clover and First Data a little bit on this, even though I'm very bullish about cash discounting, because I want to talk about, something the industry might want to consider. And so hopefully some of you that are listening are CEOs of these processing companies and ISV partnerships and stuff, that you can think through this a little bit, because cash discounting is a huge opportunity, and it's not something that I want to squander. One of my biggest fears is that our industry is just handling it in just totally the wrong way. I think it was 2 weeks ago, I had a conversation with somebody that told me they're doing reverse processing. I'm like, what is reverse processing? Well, it's cash discounting. We call it reverse processing. I'm like, that's illegal. That's illegal. It's not reverse processing. If it's processing, then it's illegal. That's a surcharge. It doesn't have anything to do with processing, okay? If it has anything to do with processing, then it's not cash discount. But anyway, that's a rabbit trail. So here's the problem. What they're basically saying is you can't do a price increase by just putting a sign at the counter that says, we are increasing the price, but oh wait, there's more. If you pay with cash, we're going to waive the fee. Well, again, as of right now, that's totally compliant. I mean, it's not like, you can really... I'm not a lawyer. That's not my legal opinion. But I mean, there's really not much precedent out there. But it's pretty clear to me that that's how Visa is going to attack it. Visa is going to attack it and say, you can't give a cash discount on something that never really existed. And so it's not really a price increase. And they really do have kind of a point here, because the way that the industry is doing it is they're adding a service fee. Then they're taking it and saying, well, we're going to do a cash discount that's in the same amount, which makes sense. But they're like, so that means that we just won't put the service fee on if it's a cash transaction. That service fee just won't be there. Well, my thought is, I think what would actually be what I know would be more compliant is if you're working with a point of sale system, you're trying to design this cash discount program to be really compliant. What I think would make more sense is to actually add a service fee and actually have that service fee be a line item on the receipt for everything. Now, you can't do this if you're doing an individual terminal, because the cash sales are going through the terminal, But there's even a way to do it there where we could kind of customize the receipts and do cash receipts or something. But the idea would be if the service fee was on every receipt for cash sales and for credit sales, but the service fee was there, but the cash discount was only on cash sales. So imagine if a customer got a receipt and they spent, let's say they spent $100 to make the math easy, right? So you have a 3.99% service fee, and that would be, I think, a 3.84% cash discount. So they would get their receipt and it would say, if they paid with cash, it would say $100 plus $3.99 service fee minus $3.99 cash discount. Total $100. If they pay with a card, it would say $100 plus $3.99 service fee equals $103.99. No cash discount. Now, I realize that would be potentially a little bit more confusing for consumers. Consumers might actually notice it, now, because there'd be 2 line items instead of 1, and it might get complicated to the point where they would notice it. But I think that we may need to start thinking about going that direction, because if Visa comes after with that attack, they do have some merit there to say, how can this really be a price increase if it only is on credit card receipts? The cash receipts don't have the service fee. You're saying you added a service fee to everything, then where is the service fee on the cash sales? It's not there because, we waived it because they paid with cash. Well, really, they need to be 2 totally separate things. So here's a takeaway from this. Number 1 takeaway is Clover doesn't do cash discounting anymore. So be aware. And that's because First Data doesn't want to be the poster child that gets sued by Visa for surcharging illegally. All right. And believe me, they're not the only one that's concerned. So that happened. So just be aware of that. If you have people on Clover that are doing cash discount, you don't anymore. Second thing to be aware of here is that there is kind of a clear picture here. And I really believe, I don't have any proof of this, but I really believe this is a result of Visa talking to First Data. I think that they're talking about this and Visa saying, hey, here's this issue with cash discounting. We're against it. Are you doing it? And they're having a conversation. And I think that it's First Data is kind of giving us a glimpse of how Visa is going to attack cash discounting. And the way they're going to do it is they're going to say this is not a legitimate price increase. You have to do a price increase, has to be on the sticker, which is literally what they say in the notification. But it says, it has to be like on the sticker, and then you can provide a cash discount at the counter. And so we have to think about creative ways, whether it's with a point of sale system, it's easy there. With an individual terminal, it could be a little more tricky. You'd almost have to print a cash receipt of some kind for each sale, where you could put in the amount and just hit print receipt, and it'll add the service fee and then do the cash discount and provide that receipt. I don't know. There's different ways you could do it, but somehow we need to make it so the service fee is on everything and the cash discount is only when they pay cash. So if you're an individual rep, nothing really to do about this yet. I just want you to be aware of it. It's happening. We all knew it was going to happen. We all knew Visa was going to come after cash discounting. So just be aware of it. It's happening. Again, it's going to take a while. I don't see this being like, oh my goodness, next week I'm going to do a podcast that says cash discounting is over. No, it's going to be in 3 years. But I think during that time, there's going to be some compromises that need to be made. If you're an ISV partner or you're a CEO of a processing company, think about this. What if we just, added the service fee to everything and then did the cash discount to make it more legitimate, and to make it more clear that cash discounting really is cash discounting. So important developments in the industry. My name is James Shepard. Have an awesome day.